Most traders spend thousands of hours studying complex charts and indicators while completely ignoring the one thing that actually matters most. I lost nearly every single dollar in my bank account before I realized that my biggest enemy was staring back at me. You think you need a better strategy or a secret algorithm, but the truth is your own brain is sabotaging your every move. The market is a cold and heartless machine that does not care about your mortgage or your dreams of financial freedom. When you see red on your screen, your brain triggers a biological response designed to protect you from a physical predator. Your heart starts racing and your palms get sweaty because your ancient DNA thinks a predator is chasing you right now. This survival instinct is exactly what causes you to close your winning trades too early and hold your losing trades forever. I spent years thinking I was just unlucky until I discovered the most valuable lesson that changed my entire trading career. Professional trading is not about being right or wrong, but about managing the emotional chaos happening inside of your own mind. If you cannot control your impulses, then the market will systematically transfer every penny you own to someone who can. Imagine trying to perform open-heart surgery while riding a roller coaster that is currently on fire and falling down fast. That is exactly what it feels like to trade with real money when you have not mastered your internal psychological state. Most people treat the stock market like a giant casino where they can get rich quick without doing any internal work. But the market is actually a mirror that reflects every single one of your deepest fears and most desperate human needs. If you are greedy in life, you will be even more greedy on the charts, and it will eventually destroy you. The moment I stopped looking for the perfect indicator was the exact moment I finally started seeing real, consistent, long-term profits. I had to learn how to sit in front of a losing trade without feeling like my entire world was ending today. Most retail traders are addicted to the dopamine hit of a winning trade rather than the discipline of a proven system. You are essentially fighting against millions of years of evolution every single time you click the buy or sell button now. A monkey with a dartboard could make money in this market if it had the emotional discipline of a Buddhist monk. Trading is 80% psychology and 20% strategy. Yet, most people spend all their time on the wrong 20%. Your ego is the most expensive thing you will ever own, and it will bankrupt you if you let it lead. I remember staring at a screen for 16 hours straight, feeling like a failure because I could not control my own emotions. The most valuable lesson I ever learned was that being wrong is perfectly fine, but staying wrong is absolutely fatal here. Successful trading feels boring and repetitive, like watching paint dry while you are sitting on a mountain of cold hard cash. If your heart is pounding while you are in a trade, then your position size is far too large for you. You are not trading stocks or crypto or Forex. You are actually trading your own beliefs about what is possible today. The market is designed to take money from the impatient and give it to the people who can wait forever. Every time you revenge trade, you are essentially setting your future self on fire because you cannot handle a small loss. I had to lose everything to realize that my desire to be right was actually preventing me from being very wealthy. You must become a robot that executes a plan without hesitation or fear, regardless of what the news is saying now. Fear and greed are the two most powerful forces in the universe, and they are both working against your bank account. Think of your trading account like a fragile glass vase that you are trying to carry through a crowded subway station. One wrong emotional move and everything you have worked for will shatter into a million pieces on the cold, hard floor. The secret to wealth is not found in a textbook, but in the quiet moments when you choose discipline over impulse. You are currently competing against supercomputers and PhDs who are specifically programmed to exploit your most basic human instincts for profit. These institutions spend billions of dollars to understand exactly how to make you panic and sell at the bottom every time. Your fear is their paycheck, and your greed is the fuel that keeps their massive corporate engines running day and night. If you do not have a plan for your emotions, then you are just a sacrificial lamb in a digital slaughterhouse. I used to think I was smart until the market humbled me by taking every single cent I had ever earned. Losing money is not the problem, but losing your mind during a drawdown is the fastest way to complete financial ruin. Imagine standing in the middle of a hurricane while trying to build a house made of cards with your bare hands. That is the level of stability your mind needs to maintain when the market is moving violently against your open position. Most people would rather be right and go broke than be wrong and make a fortune over the long term. You have to strip away your identity and become a cold observer of the price action rather than a desperate participant. The most dangerous words in trading are, "I hope it goes back up," because hope is not a viable financial strategy. Hope is the poison that keeps you trapped in a losing trade while your capital slowly evaporates into thin air today. A professional trader views a loss like a business expense, while an amateur views it as a personal attack on their soul. You must learn to love your losses because they are the tuition fees you pay to the greatest university on earth. If you cannot handle a $10 loss, you will never be able to handle a $10,000 profit later. The scale of the numbers changes, but the chemical reaction in your brain remains exactly the same, unless you train it. Trading is like walking a tightrope across the Grand Canyon while a crowd of people screams at you to jump off. One side of the rope is total devastation, and the other side is the life of your dreams. But balance is everything. You are not chasing candles on a screen. You are chasing the version of yourself that is disciplined enough to win. Every single candle represents a battle between millions of people who are all trying to take money from each other right now. It is a psychological war where the person who flinches first is the one who loses the most money in the end. I had to stop looking at the profit and loss window and start looking at my own heart rate during trades. If you were checking your phone every 5 minutes, then you have already lost the mental game before it even started. True mastery is being able to walk away from the screen when the setup is not perfect, regardless of the FOMO. Fear of missing out has destroyed more trading accounts than any market crash or economic depression in human history combined today. You are essentially a high-performance athlete whose only equipment is a mouse, a keyboard, and a perfectly calm nervous system. If your internal world is a mess, your external bank account will eventually reflect that chaos with absolute and brutal precision. I realized that the charts were never the problem. It was the person sitting in the chair looking at the charts. You must treat every trade like a single grain of sand on a beach rather than a life or death situation. When you detach your self-worth from your net worth, you finally unlock the ability to trade with total and complete freedom. Most traders are like gamblers in a burning building who are trying to win one last hand before the roof collapses. You need to be the person who calmly walks to the exit while everyone else is screaming and fighting for their lives. The market does not reward hard work. It rewards the ability to remain rational when everyone else is losing their minds. You could have the best strategy in the world, but without a disciplined mind, it is like driving the Ferrari without wheels. The most valuable lesson is that you are the only person who can stop yourself from becoming a legendary multi-millionaire. You are not fighting against the charts or the big banks, but against the version of yourself that fears being wrong. Every red candle feels like a personal attack on your intelligence until you realize the market does not even know you exist. Professional traders accept that losing is just the cost of doing business, while amateurs treat every single loss like a massive failure. If you cannot handle a small loss today, you will eventually be forced to accept a catastrophic loss that ends your career. The hardest part is not clicking the buy button, but sitting on your hands when your strategy tells you to do nothing. Discipline is the bridge between having a profitable strategy on paper and actually seeing those profits reflected in your bank account balance. Most people quit right before the breakthrough because they cannot survive the psychological desert where nothing seems to be working out right. You must become a cold-blooded executioner of your own plan without letting a single ounce of human emotion cloud your judgment. Trading is the only profession where you can do everything perfectly right and still lose money at the end of the day. This reality breaks most people because we are programmed from birth to believe that hard work always equals immediate positive results. Imagine trying to perform open-heart surgery while your own house is on fire. And that is the level of focus required. It is like walking a tightrope across the Grand Canyon while the entire world is screaming at you to look down and fall. Your brain is wired for survival in the wild, but those same survival instincts will lead you to financial ruin in the markets. You are essentially trying to reprogram thousands of years of human evolution just to master the art of clicking a computer mouse. Comparing a retail trader to a professional is like comparing a child with a toy sword to a seasoned samurai in battle. The market is a meat grinder that specifically targets your insecurities and exploits every single mental weakness you have ever tried hiding. You will feel the same rush of dopamine as a gambling addict until you learn to find peace in the boring consistency. Winning a trade feels like conquering a kingdom, but losing one feels like losing your entire identity if you lack mental strength. Success in this game is 90% psychological warfare against yourself and only 10% finding the right lines on a chart. If you do not conquer your mind, the market will use your own greed and fear to take every penny you own. The moment I stopped caring about the money and started caring about the process was the exact moment I finally became profitable. You have to be willing to look like a fool to the rest of the world to achieve things they cannot imagine. Stop looking for the holy grail indicator and start looking in the mirror, because that is where the real problem is hiding. Mastery of self is the ultimate leverage that allows you to remain calm while everyone else is panicking and selling their futures. Every single trade is just one of 1,000, and its individual outcome should have zero impact on your emotional state today. You are building a mental fortress that can withstand the most violent storms the financial markets can ever throw at your soul. This journey will change who you are as a human being far more than it will ever change your net worth balance. The most valuable lesson is that you are the captain of your soul and the master of your own financial destiny. Embrace the pain of discipline now, or you will be forced to embrace the much heavier weight of regret for a lifetime.